it. Okay, on. I think I'm going live now.
Okay.
So bye, Max.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks. Okay, I made it. It's 2 minutes to 1. I'm gonna copy and paste, or I'm gonna let people know I'm on Facebook. Close this door. Okay, you got the dog, babe? Hello, hello. I'm just gonna also go live on Facebook at the same time, which I love doing. And I'm still trying to master this, but I'm getting better every time. Because it's not 1 o'clock yet, and I'm here. So that's a step. A step. So today topic is collective and independent thought and the power of those things. So starting off, I'm going to start my talk right on time. So today we're going to do, just like we have been doing, a little talk and a little breath. The talk, today's subject is, here I am. The subject of today's talk is collective I hope you're still there for me. I'm sorry. Hopefully Max will help me again and cut off all the bullshit in the beginning. So hello, Miguel Martinez. Hello, anyone who is tuning in or watching this video later. I was going to try to go live on Facebook, but it's distracting me, so I'm going to end that and cancel it. So today's subject is collective and independent thought and how the power behind that. In our current situation, I'm not going to talk about the specifics of what's on the news because I'll be honest, I don't watch it. I don't know about topics. I know that because I don't watch the news doesn't mean I have an opinion about anyone else watching the news. But that is my choice to shelter myself from that energy. But that I understand why people might want to watch the news. For me, I believe that I'll find out whatever it is I need to know, right? Someone's going to tell me, and they have so far. People have. So, but when it comes to being mindful of our thoughts, right? I want you to start wrapping your brain around the topic of the power behind thought. And whether or not you believe in manifestation, there's a real science behind it. The way it was explained to me by a very smart person who happens to be my son, who's a chemistry major and very logic and science-based person, who doesn't much buy into a lot of the woo-woo that would make up yoga, said that when we think about manifestation, if we think about our brain as kind of like 2 compartments, and one compartment is the creator of ideas and the other compartment is the problem solver. And so when we start to believe and focus on something in one part of our brain, the other part of our brain automatically sets up systems and try to accomplish that. Good or bad, by the way. Good or bad. If we were to believe that all men are evil and that all men cheat, the other side of our brain would have us accusing a man so often that maybe that would cause that to happen. I don't want anyone to take that wrong. I don't think it's anyone's fault that another person, behaves in a certain way, right? We all have free will, but we'll try to prove ourselves right and try to manifest things, even subconsciously, that we believe to be true, that we know for sure we are moving towards, right? So whether that's good or bad, whether that is a new car, a new home, a new relationship, a new way of living, whatever it is that we're trying to, or a new mood, a new outlook, whatever it is that we're focused on, whatever, and you've heard it a million times, what you focus on, you get more of. There's so many little catchphrases, right? If you see it, you can be it, those kind of things, right? So when we think about that power, the power of the mind and the power of the energy of the heart math behind that, the passion that drives us in a certain direction, based on a thought that we have, an idea, a wish, a purpose, a passion. When we think about that, and if we buy into that, if let's just all agree that manifestation is a thing, whether you base it in science or religion or energy, whatever you believe that, and maybe you've even proven to yourself that when you focus on something, it manifests in your life one way or another, right? Whether it's a vision board, an idea, just a solid belief in something. And so when we're in this current circumstance, if we can collectively focus on an outcome, a direction, a hope, a principle, an idea, if we can collectively harness the power of that manifestation, of that heart math, of that power, of that passion in a direction, so then of course it creates more power. So it kind of goes back to one of the things we love to practice in trauma recovery yoga, which is love and kindness. And it also correlates or matches up with the idea of prayer and group prayer, right? So when we talk about love and kindness or group prayer or manifestation and power, the power of a collective moving in a direction, even if it is energetically or mindset or heartfelt, it can make a difference. Okay, so if we can all just wrap our brain about, maybe we don't agree on it, but maybe it's possible, okay, or that it's at least not impossible, then maybe we can do some good in the world now in a way that is very simple, just to focus on the good, right? So that is not to say that we would be so insensitive that we would not take a moment out of our day to feel compassion and empathy for people who are suffering currently, and that we wouldn't all agree that there is a lot of darkness happening in the world. And then perhaps we can remind ourselves that there's always darkness and pain happening in the world, and that our empathy is always necessary, right? Maybe now more than ever. Yes, agreed. But can we all not agree that at this time, there are still babies being born and flowers blooming and people falling in love and people laughing and loving, and that there is not some sort of awakening happening and a shift happening and a healthier outlook, or maybe a new perspective about what is their people's values? Maybe that's possible, and maybe you've seen it. I know a lot of people are stepping out to say they're seeing it. I know that there are people that are, including me, that are excited about a lot of the possibilities that are happening in the midst of this storm, right? That when the clouds part, that there may be more sunshine, more smiles, more empathy, more human connection, more value in the things that we took for granted, including fucking toilet paper, okay? So if we can all agree on those things, how then can we harness that agreeing, right? That collective energy or thought or hope or faith, and share it and push it out? Well, it's the same way that people and entities and agencies are sharing the opposite, right? Through social media, through the news, through telephone calls, through conversation, through passersby, through emails, right? All of those ways. It's not to say that we are going to deny or bypass the idea that there is pain, or that we don't at moments experience the panic or the fear in our own bodies, and that we recognize that there may be reason for that. But at the same time, that we can take a moment to say, I realize that this is happening, but this is also true. And so when we have those conversations, try to make them balanced. Does that make sense? it's my passion today, or my purpose today. I felt called. And again, I had a beautiful conversation with a friend I haven't spoken to in a while named Nyla. She's a very spiritual person. And in a couple of weeks, she'll be holding a course online, and I'll be a part of that. And it's kind of speaking to the idea of obedience, and the idea of, if we are obedient, we will be still for a moment and acknowledge that we do have feelings of joy in these moments, that we do understand that there are great things happening, and that we can find balance in both, right? So with that being said, I just feel it is part of my purpose now when I take these moments to practice breath, and that I can have a platform that maybe I can capture some people's attention, that it is my responsibility, because I have lived through so much shit, experienced so much pain, and helped or held space with many people doing that same thing, that I remind people that all of these storms are temporary, and that we do want to have empathy for everyone experiencing darkness and pain at this moment, and grief, and that we want to send out love and kindness and strength for them. And we also want to lift and remind them that everything is going to be okay, and remind them to look for the good, to focus on the good in the moments throughout the day that we can. I also work with a beautiful woman named Catherine Schrenka, and she has a business or organization called Interpeace Initiative, and she's been holding lunchtime sessions. If you want information about that, you can reach out to us and we'll give that to you, or you can find her, I'm sure, on Google. And she walked me and a group of other helpers in the community through a breath the other day, which is the breath I want to share with you today. And she's a Kundalini based person. And her practice is in Kundalini, maybe in Kirtan. I don't know how you say that properly, but she is really good at harnessing energy. So today, as we practice breath, what I'm hoping that we can do is to focus on the good, right? And to just acknowledge that all of the fear-based emotions are happening throughout the world right now, but at the same time, all of the love-based emotions are happening in the world as well. And that, hey Tippers, and that in this moment, as we practice this breath, and I'm going to do my best not I'm going to do my best to practice this breath. I've never led anyone through this breath. I've only practiced this breath with Catherine. I'm not even sure what it's called, but I know that after I did it, I felt so clear and so awake and so alive. And I think that it's really easy for us right now to become very heavy and gloomy and grieve and dark, and gloomy and foggy. I guess those are all the words I can think of. Almost like soggy bottom, right? And this breath that she practiced with us seemed so lifting and airy and sun, and made space for new possibilities, that I just wanted to share that today. So again, when I get on here with you at 1:00, I've taken a walk, I've walked the dog, I've pondered some philosophy with my husband and or friends. And I just wait for the orders. I don't have another way, just to be still and wait, because then I'll be like, oh, I know what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about, what we focus on, focus on the good, and what we focus on, what we shed a light on grows. And when we do that independently, if we have a gloomy situation and 90% of our life is like, so fantastic, we love our friends, we love our family, but we got this one asshole in our life, and we seem to just be ruminating and soaking in that situation, that it overtakes our day, and we walk around with our shoulders up by our ears and our eyebrows touching, right? And we forget about the other 90% of our day that is good, right? So what we focus on grows, and this problem becomes bigger and bigger, and starts to take up more and more of our time and our conversation, and takes up space in our brain. And if we can shift our focus and shine a light on what we want to grow, imagine it's like a garden, right? And so we have these beautiful flowers growing over here, but we're only shining the sunshine on these weeds, right? So if we shift the light over here, this is what will grow. And that's what I'm asking you for. It's not that there are no weeds, we know there are, but we turn our light over here and this begins to wither. So that's what I'm asking you to do today, is to focus on the good, to look for the beauty no matter where you are, to bring it into the conversations when people call you, not to shut people down, not to say if they call you and say it sucks, say, yeah, it fucking sucks. Yeah, I know this is hard. It's a struggle. And then bring them to the present moment. Because here's another thing that I want you all to get. I want everyone to hear this loud and clear, because this we all can agree on. Unless there's a bear in your kitchen, unless you're sitting in the doctor's office getting a diagnosis, unless you're sitting bedside in this moment with someone you're caring for, fear only exists when you live in the future, right? Unless those things are happening right now. And most likely, if you're sitting, watching this video or listening to me live, and 90% of the people you know aren't dealing with those kinds of situations. If you are feeling fear in your everyday life, it is because you are living in the future and not in the present moment. If you can, just take a look around and there is no bear and your feet are on the ground and you are breathing, right? And all is well in this moment. All is well, right? So if we can remind everyone, if you're feeling fear, you're living in the future. And to bring those people back to the present moment that call you in that panic and you're trying to talk them off the ledge, let them vomit on you. Let them just puke all over your shoes. Let them get it out because they need to. And then ask them what they had for breakfast. And ask them if they're going to go for a walk. And just bring them into the room where they are. Ask them where they are. Oh, you're in your living room? Did you get that new rug? Get them present. That is self-regulation. So that's how we can help other people and ourselves, right? To regulate, bring people present, and remind people that with all that is going on, there is still something really good happening, right? And every day there is beauty, right? And our tagline at Trauma Recovery Yoga is turning loss into blessings. And we're seeing loss around us now, and to help ourselves and others see the blessing in that loss, right? I've been working with some first responders, the people that are working in our city to build that Cashman Field to turn an old stadium into a homeless shelter and hospital, and some other people were working with the situation where we lost an officer recently in the state of Nevada. And so I'm working with these first responders who are definitely living in the pain that they felt during this call with this patrolman, or living in the how are we going to, so they were living in yesterday, but still currently happening, the pain. And then the others that are working on the stadium who were like, how fast can we get this open? We're going to miss our deadline, blah, blah, blah. They're living in tomorrow. So you can be trapped in tomorrow or yesterday and forget that right now, right here, everything is okay. And that no one ever said, thank God you panicked, right? Because panic is never productive. Fear can be, yes, it's a natural response to a dangerous situation. But 9 times out of 10, if we're feeling fear, we're living in the future. If we're panicking, we're living in the future, right? Like all the toilet paper being gone. So I am not going to keep everybody here. I could chatter about this forever. I want your takeaways to be focus on the good. And if anyone, when I say we, I mean anyone who's feeling this, listening to this, watching this video later, sharing it with a friend, if we can keep sprinkling those seeds in our conversations, in our videos, in our Instagram memes, in our posts, and our gifts to say, don't forget about what's also happening on this side. Max says, you hit the nail on the head. Through try, I had found the ability to be present. Now, all of a sudden, the future, which for so long wasn't even a consideration is invading every other thought, right? And the future hasn't happened yet. So we keep, we're not Nostradamus, right? So thanks, Max. Absolutely. We're not Nostradamus, however you say his name. We can't predict what's going to happen. We can be safe, right? We can practice safe practices. I don't want anyone to be irresponsible, but I'm talking about the emotion, regardless of what's on the news, what's happening on the street, who's wearing a mask, who's not, who's practicing distancing, who's not. That is not what I'm talking about here. What I'm talking about is being responsible for the energy that you bring into your own body and mind, and what you share with everyone you make contact with, and what we can create together collectively as we make it part of our mission and purpose through this time to remind people to focus on the good. Don't forget, look for the helpers, look for the blooming flowers in the spring, look for smell the rain showers, look for the people falling in love, the new babies being born, right? And so just to remind ourselves and others of that, and to become very present, and to remind ourselves, fear happens in the future. Panic never helped anything. And focus on the good, right? Those are the 3 takeaways today. Focus on the good. Panic never helped anything. And fear happens in the future, not by living in the present. 99% of the time. Sometimes fear is valid, but panic is never helpful. So as a collective, if you're watching this live or on video, I want to take you through a breath today to help clear away those cobwebs, that heaviness, and hope to bring you some sunshine. This isn't a breath that I would use very often in trauma recovery yoga, except for when people are feeling very gloomy, hopeless, people that are in behavioral health situations, people who are incarcerated, people who feel trapped and alone in relationships, people who feel helpless and hopeless, right? And I'm not suggesting that you're feeling that way, but those feelings may be invading your day, right? Like Max said. So what I want to do is, this is, I guess you could call this breath of fire or bellows breath. And again, I don't want to get into the yogi terms of it. I just want to give you direction on it. And I'm going to get a tissue. You might want to get a tissue too, because we're going to do it in a little different way than if you've practiced bellows breath or breath of fire or whatever you want to call it before. We're going to do it in a little different way. It's kind of exciting. And I know, Max, you're going to fucking love this. So I'm going to just get a tissue because it's allergy season. Okay, just in case. All right, so I hope I make Catherine proud because I've only ever done this with her. So if you've ever done this breath before, you're breathing in and out, or at least this is the way we practice. We're going to breathe in and out through the nose. We're going to breathe in through the nose, and we'll breathe out through the nose, pushing from the belly. So I'm going to tilt this down so you can see. It's just an active on the exhale and a passive on the inhale. So it's a regular inhale, and then, so you push. You hear it push out the nose. You can try this now. Just take a regular inhale, and then push with your diaphragm, like you're trying to touch your belly button. Push, and you hear it push out the nose, right? So you can do this as fast or as slow as you want. And what I want to do is take us through a whole 90 seconds, right? 90 seconds is a long time to practice this breath. So I want you to go with that puffing as fast or as slow as you want. So it will sound something like this, anywhere from to right? So it's kind of like a panting. I'm going to take you through a little self-regulation before, just very quickly. And what we're going to do that's a little different, and this is what Catherine taught me, is we're going to expand our arms, right, outside to side, not trying to reach behind you, but just out to the sides. And then with palms up and open, fingers spread nice and wide, kind of lift your arms to an angle about, I don't know what that is, like 60 degrees or something. Just a little lower than, you wouldn't be pointing them all the way up to where like the wall meets the ceiling, but a little bit lower, okay? And if your arms get tired during this breath, you can engage, use the muscles between your shoulder blades to engage and keep them elevated. And you can also put them down a little bit and bring them back up, whatever you need to do. Now, I want you to focus your energy and your mind's eye on this area here in between your eyebrows. So we know this is the thinking center. It's a very busy area right now. We're trying to solve problems we have no control over. We're worried about people that we can't help, right? Right here. So I want you'll be a little bit cross-eyed if you just kind of look up there. You could even close your eyes and look up there, right? So imagine that you're looking right there. Lift your arms in that 60 degrees. And I'm just going to start a timer. And then we'll just begin. So just give me 1 second. Okay. And just lift the arms. Take a big inhale into the belly. Gazing up towards that third eye, and or close the eyes and begin. You might take this time as you keep panting, keep pushing. It's passive on the inhale, active on the exhale. Pushing the navel towards the spine. Feel the sit bones on the ground. Feel the feet or the sit bones on your chair. Feel the feet digging into the carpet. Imagine that you're clearing that way between the eyebrows. The shoulders are down and away, shoulder blades trying to touch behind you. Thinking about how you're sweeping away any debris, heating up any old information, turning it into ash. Feel a smile behind the eyes and nose as you maybe can hear the birds chirping or the dogs barking. Keep going. We're at 1 minute and 25 seconds. Now I want to go a few more seconds. If you can lower your arms and exhale now or keep them up. Let's go 30 more seconds. Almost there. 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds. Inhale, look up, reach up. Big inhale, reach as high as you can. Breathe in as deep as you can. Reach higher, breathe deeper. Exhale, place your palms together. Pull all the happiness to the center of your heart, gazing down towards your feet. Take a moment. Let your hands float down on your legs or knees. Notice your feet on the floor. Feel the center of your body as you push the navel towards the spine. Take a big exhale now as you push every bit of air out of the body. And as you inhale, lift the chin, open the eyes, raise the eyebrows, and smile. Yay! I love that. I feel, it breaks up a lot of heat in the shoulders. Feel free to sweep it away, get rid of that shit. Brush off your pants and your heart. Let's get rid of it. Shake it out. Shake it off. Right? Whew. Just taking a moment, just kind of, to change your mood. Sometimes you have to change your attitude, move your body a little bit, move your breath, create some heat and some light, clear away the cobwebs, right? So that's it for today, y'all. That is it. Remember, I'm gonna type it in right now. We had 3 things that we really wanted to remember, which was fear lives in the future. Fear lives. My nails are getting too long. Look at this. Oh my goodness. I can't wait for nails are essential. Okay. They're essential. They're spit all over it. Fear lives in the future. Focus on the good. Shine light on what we want to grow. What was the other one? Panic never helps. Thanks, y'all. I appreciate y'all. Long nails helping spread viruses. Oh, really? Not okay. I'm not out there. Okay. I can't. What do you want me to do? I need a Dremel. We already did like stay home barbershop. I don't know if y'all saw, but on my Instagram, Darwin's hair was this long. He was getting like this big fro, and now it's like very short. I'll work on it, Max. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Thank you for joining me. More to come. We have a lot of great news happening. Don't forget to check us out on the Downtown Yoga and Wellness website, dtlvcoop.com. We have some classes there, low cost and no cost classes. We have this site. I know Max is doing some stuff on Instagram as well. We're trying to reach as many people as we can and in as many ways as we can. And that's it. That's all. Love you. Bye. Thanks for trying.